You've entered another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of power. Pure power. You've entered Monster War.
Once again, I'm Luann Lee, and welcome to Monster Wars, the wildest action on television. This week's competition takes place in Louisville. And if you think the Kentucky Derby is exciting, check out the horsepower of the U.S. Hot Rod Association. Now, get ready. If that doesn't get your motor racing, check this out. Last week on Monster Wars, we had one of the most exciting battles of the season. In the first round, Gravedigger and Carolina Crusher went head-to-head and wound up nose-to-nose at the finish line. It was a dead heat, the first tie race ever on Monster Wars. Crusher wound up winning the rematch, but neither truck made it to the finals. It was Barefoot who overpowered the competition all night. He sailed past Equalizer to win in front of a sellout crowd at Jacksonville's Gator Bowl. Speaking of racing, let's go to it. Jim Davidson standing by with some extra information on today's Hot Spot.
Question, where can you find all the best action on TV? X marks the spot, Monster fans, and this is the point where all the drama of today's action will begin and end right here at the Louisville Motor Speedway. This is our starting line for this extraordinary and difficult figure eight course. It's also the point where these guys, these big boys, these monster trucks will probably be landing once they finish sailing over the finish line. That is, if they can maneuver and master this treacherous figure eight course. So keep your eye on the X for some extra excitement today on Monster Wars. But right now, let's go up to our expert extraordinaire, Joe Lowe.
What an excellent job, Jim. An excellent crowd ready to see excellent racing here at the Louisville Motor Speedway. But first, let's take a look at the standings for the Monsters. Equalizer is #1 in points with 147, followed by Barefoot. Gravedigger, who's done a lot of turning over, stands third. Then Taurus, Predator, and Invader round out the top six. Carolina Crusher in 7th place. Kodiak, Tropical Thunder, and First Blood down in number 10. And round #1 about to start. The matchup between Carolina Crusher, Gary Porter, and First Blood, Rob Fuchs. He's been working very, very hard trying to build up. He qualified 3rd here at Louisville Motor Speedway in earlier racing. Now, qualifying 8th was Carolina Crusher, Gary Porter. But Gary Porter is known to hold back in qualifying and sort of play possum and really let it go when it comes to side-by-side action. First Blood has his work cut out for him.
Oh! This is it, Crusher! The match to end all matches! Evil runs more than skin deep, even deeper than yours, and I will penetrate it! Cross my heart! Oh! I'll crush your puny heart, you vicious vampire, and then I'll drive you batty and leave you in the dust! The First Blood your fans will see, sucker, will be your own! Prepare to scream for mercy when I reach down your throat and tear your guts out through the top of your fat, bald head! Ah!
They are staged and lined up for figure eight racing, the only figure eight course on the entire circuit. And here they go. Watch it. Turn #1. Take it very easy. Then you got to go around. And then first set of cars you're facing. And Rob Fuchs takes First Blood in the lead. Gary Porter's been on the outside. Now he's got the shorter run. Side by side, they come in to turn #4. Gary Porter of the Carolina Crusher takes the edge on First Blood. Coming around the turn to the finish line. Gary Porter turns it on and over the finish line. Carolina Crusher gets the win. And what a win that was. Very decisive victory. 32.4 versus 33.65. A full 1 second lead for Carolina Crusher. It happened after the first set of cars was jumped. Carolina Crusher gets down, digs, and powers through. Going into turn number 4, it's Carolina Crusher taking a commanding lead, and he gets the win. Jim's with him to talk about it.
Yeah, you had this baby purring. That was a nice run.
Yeah, well, you know, Rob, he had lane choice. He put me in the right lane. You know, I got a good head start on him, you know, in this first turn on the outside. Now, you know, I jumped the cars pretty good. Then I was on the inside, so I had the short track on the other end. You know, and the truck seemed to be working good, and I was able to pull it off.
Keeping that baby mashed for 30, 35 seconds is really getting it hot, huh?
Yeah, it sure is.
Gravedigger is working his way to the starting line. He'll face the Invader.
I won't be ground down by anyone. I'm gonna come out on top if it's the last thing I do. Invader landed the worst opening round matchup of his pitiful existence.
Louisville Motor Speedway giving us the only figure-8 course on the entire monster truck circuit. And our track facts will reveal this is a wild, wild course. They start out going a full circle. The guy on the outside has to go a lot further, and then the jump. That wild jump that'll take them into the X area. They must straighten out and then go another way. Notice this, they have both left and right turns that they have to make on this course. It's a tough one. The guy on the inside always has a shorter way to go, and then over more cars and across the finish line, hopefully in the air. A wild course at the Louisville Motor Speedway. And 2 wild trucks ready to go. Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger. He'll start on the outside. He has to go a long way to make that first jump. Dennis qualified first, picked up 10 points for that. And Invader, Ray Piorkowski, doing the driving, qualified 6th. They're matched up. They're ready to go. Gravedigger and Invader. And this is round number 1, race number 2. Inside the monster trucks, there's a lot of preparation going on right now. Dennis Anderson checking things out. You see he's leaning up towards the top. That's checking to make sure the ignition control switch is set. It is, and they're off. Side by side, Digger takes a lead going into the first turn. Ray Piorkowski on the inside pilots Invader. Side by side, they're going around, and Dennis Anderson is going to play catch-up over the cars. Whoa, they're in the air. And watch this, Invader has left the track. Invader went sideways, a bad bobble. It's all Digger. All Dennis Anderson has to do now is drive it home. Invader, what a bad hop. Digger over. Digger wins it. Invader, oh man, he's just barely still in the ballpark, a full 3 seconds behind Gravedigger. Invader had a shot until the first set of cars. A bad hop, and the truck goes sideways, leaves the track. He's busy backing out of it, trying to get the truck back on the track while Gravedigger is gone. Ray Piorkowski does a good job of driving. The truck just got thrown all over this course. He's on the infield, and he's out of the race as Gravedigger takes it home, and Dennis Anderson sits in the winner's circle as he moves on to round number 2 here on Monster Wars. Invader can only hope he gets to come back as a fast loser.
I might have just lost to the ghastly Gravedigger, but I have got the power of the universe coursing through my body. I'll be back! Round 2 awaits! My destiny is to return and seek revenge!
As the action just keeps on coming, Barefoot and Tropical Thunder line up on the X in Louisville. Barefoot is driven by Fred Shafer. He's the reigning world champion. Wayne Smozanek, up from Florida, drives Tropical Thunder. And look at this. Barefoot qualified 10th. A lot of people going, oh, what's wrong with Barefoot? Maybe Fred's the smarter of the group. He knows this is a tough course. It's very, very tough on the truck when they land. He may have been playing possum. The question is Tropical Thunder up to the challenge of Barefoot? On the start, Barefoot takes the big Hemi engine and powers out. Tropical Thunder plays catch-up. He's got to stay on the track. Thunder cut that very, very close. Oh, he does it again. He does it again. He's on the infield. It's throwing him all over the place. Over the cars goes Barefoot. Tropical Thunder decides to go around. And Fred Shafer is out for a picnic walk in the park on his win. Barefoot comes around and heads for home. Oh, no, look out! Barefoot almost turned it on its side, but he goes home, pulls it out, and the veteran gets the win a full 9 seconds over Tropical Thunder. Where did Tropical Thunder's problems occur? Right in turn number 2. Wayne Smozanek cut it too close, got up in the concrete abutments and threw them all over the place, probably did some front-end damage. Fred Shafer, meanwhile, takes advantage of it and gets the win. Our next matchup features the rookie, Paul Shafer, in Monster Patrol. He goes against the veteran, Taurus, and this could be easy pickings for Taurus.
Boy, howdy, I get to face me a brand spanking new rookie. Maybe I'll shoot his feet, make him dance for a while, before I take him out of round 1 with a 6-shooting round of my own. Ah!
You know, they say in everything you got to learn, right? Well, Paul Shafer is about to learn from Taurus. Paul Shafer is going up against Jack Willman Jr. Now, Jackie has been the #1 monster truck driver in the Taurus camp for a long, long time. He's got experience. Paul Shafer, while he's an experienced mud racer, he has his new truck, Monster Patrol, and he's got his work cut out for him here on this figure-8 course in Louisville. Taurus, Monster Patrol lined up on the start. Taurus has a little bit of smoke coming out of one side of the engine. That could be a problem for him. They go around the turn. Monster Patrol laying back. Paul Shafer waiting to see what happens. He knows he's heads up with this guy Taurus, and he's going, hey, I'm okay. Look at this. Now, boom! This is where experience comes in. Monster Patrol takes a bad hop, and Jackie Willman drives Taurus right through it. You got to keep your foot in it. You cannot back out despite what your reflexes tell you to do. Barring a problem, Jackie Willman and Taurus will pick up this win, and they do in the air. Paul Shafer gave it a valiant run, but Monster Patrol just didn't have it a full 2 seconds behind Taurus. And it was nothing more than experience that caused him that loss. And this is where it did happen. Over the first set of cars, he backs out of it. See, with a monster truck, you must keep your foot in the accelerator. And when you're flying in the air and landing like that, the reflexes are to back out and hit the brake. Jackie Willman knew better. He gets the win. Action continues here. Round number 1, our final race between Kodiak and Predator. Both great competitors. Mark Bendler drives Kodiak. He qualified 2nd today. The Predator truck, driven by Alan Pezo out of Millington, Michigan, qualified 7th. But qualifying's not what it's about here. It's about racing. It's about figure-8 racing. It's all in the drivers, the experience, the knowledge, and their ability to react on a figure-8 course. They're lined up and waiting for the green light. They get it. Predator takes the lead right on the start, and Kodiak lost. It looked like the front drive shaft. At the start of the race, the front drive shaft came out of Kodiak. He's piloting that thing around with just a rear drive shaft right now. Predator knows it. Alan Pezo's going to save his truck. Why drive hard when you know you have the win? He comes around. Predator is going to make it. And this is where you can see the problems. Kodiak, he just lost the entire drive shaft out of the truck. Predator, no problem. A walk through the park, a picnic, a cakewalk. He makes it to round number 2 without he just limps over the cars. 40.63 seconds he gets a win. Kodiak doesn't even finish the race. Mark Bendler has lots of problems in Kodiak. The front drive shaft came out, and if I'm not mistaken, he not only took out the drive shaft, he lost the entire front end. May have lost the transmission, too. That spells a lot of trouble for a monster truck. The USHRA officials walking around. He's got more pieces there. Look at this. Half the truck came out of that thing. It was on the start. Kodiak, from the very beginning, things are not running right. This, boom, look at that. This thing exploded. That's why these trucks have a big blanket and a drive shaft protection ring to keep things from flying out. As Kodiak is towed, let's go to Luann.
Round 1's over, and that means the action's just heating up. All the winners automatically advance in the competition. Carolina Crusher and Gravedigger turned in the fastest times thus far, with Barefoot right behind them. All 5 winning trucks, including Taurus and Predator, get 10 points added to their total and get a ticket to ride into round 2. And according to US Hot Rod Association rules, some of the defeated trucks still have a chance to win today. Let the good times roll for First Blood, Invader, and Monster Patrol. They were the 3 fastest losers, and so they'll be back with a vengeance, you can be sure. Here are the matchups for round 2. Taurus is readying for a showdown with the high-flying Invader. Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger go up against First Blood's Rob Fuchs. 2 veterans of the sport, Barefoot and Carolina Crusher, will battle it out. And when we return, Monster Patrol, the rookie, has his work cut out for him as he takes on the Predator.
Ah! Rookie, you've made it this far, but now you have to start from scratch with me. Because I have the perfect punishment just for you. And I'll make sure that Monster Patrol is history.
We're almost ready for round 2 action, and the first race will be Predator versus the rookie, Monster Patrol. Its driver, Paul Shafer, may be a newcomer to monster trucks, but he's a familiar face to U.S. Hot Rod Association fans. Last year, he was crowned the champion in mud racing. Driving what else? A car called Mud Patrol. Jim Davidson has the lowdown on the guy who just won't slow down, Paul Shafer.
Why be number 2 when you be number 1?
If there's one thing you can say about Paul Shafer, the force behind Monster Patrol and Mud Patrol, he's driving for the gold.
I work 16 hours a day. If that ain't ambitious, I don't know what is.
A die-hard competitor, if there's a way to soar his way into a top winning slot, he'll find it.
This wing's gonna make me win. And the fastest way there is straight across the cars. And if you're flying through the air, you lose too much time. I wanna jump at the cars. I wanna fly straight across the cars. I don't wanna fly up in the air.
He wants the best toy that can be out there. If someone is beating him, he wants to know why they are beating him.
Every successful man, it's a woman behind him, and Marianne's the woman that's behind me.
I give him all the support I can.
She keeps pushing me to go faster and faster.
I make the team just as much as he makes the team. It's a combination, and it's a winning combination.
Ready to kick you in the butt.
No, you're not.
I met her in the bar, and she was in there shooting pool, and she thought she was good, and I just had to put her in a place and show her that she couldn't beat me.
I'm going to beat you again.
You're in trouble.
Okay, you won.
I won.
I don't want to play no more.
I told you so.
Paul's determination to be a winner doesn't stop at the racetrack or the pool hall. In fact, his biggest pot of gold comes from junk.
I believe everybody wants to be a junk man. I got 7 junkyards right now. 10 years ago, if they would have told me I had owned the largest junkyard in the country, I'd have said you was crazy. But a year and a half ago, I bought this place, and this is the largest junkyard in the country right here. There ain't a junk man don't know who I am.
So other people's junk is now Paul Shafer's treasure. He and Marianne live on 2 acres of land in Portage, Indiana, and they always manage to find time to enjoy the good life that riches can buy. A world champion mud bogger, a rookie monster truck driver, everything Paul Shafer touches turns to gold. And his secret to success, well, it's simple.
Any dream that you want to do is possible. All you got to do is work. You know, whatever you do, you know, if you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a junk man, you can be anything you want. All you got to do is work.
There's the man with the mission, the rookie, Paul Shafer. He has something to prove as we go into round number 2. He comes back as the fastest loser. Hey, this time, winners only make it on. Predator, Monster Patrol, on the start. Predator with the lead. Alan Pezo drives Predator into turn number 2. Paul Shafer is playing catch-up. Predator heads to the cars, and the big jump. Whoa! Monster Patrol again takes a bad hump, but he seemed to learn. He kept his foot in it. And now they're dead even going into turn number 4. Monster Patrol picks up the lead. Predator backs out. Predator is oh no, Predator can't do it. Predator could not straighten out. Monster Patrol, the rookie, going to round number 3. A win for Paul Shafer and Monster Patrol. And Predator cannot believe this happened.
on you get away. But losing to a rookie makes my feline temper flare. Ah! Monster Patrol, I've got many more lives to live, and I'll chase you to the bitter end. But being defeated by a first-timer is a catastrophe! Ah! Ah!
The upset of the season. There's our loser, Predator. Alan Pezo takes it into the pits. How did this thing happen? Very simply. Predator was in the lead going into the first jump. Monster Patrol, he learned from that earlier race. He keeps his foot in it. And now he says, hey, Alan Pezo, look what I learned. I learned to race my monster truck on this figure eight course in Louisville. Paul Shafer, the upset. Paul Shafer and Monster Patrol. Boom, a rookie no more. Round number 2 continues with Invader going against Taurus. And Taurus wants to get this win. He wants to take out Invader.
It's getting high time to stir up some trouble with you, Invader. I'm gonna send you packing to your pitiful planet.
Taurus, you're just blowing smoke. I'm gonna blast you into a black hole where nothing escapes. Not even your hot air!
Them fighting words, alien. I believe the only space you're gonna see in the next race is the space between me and the finish line. And you bringing up the rear, partner.
Promotional consideration provided by... It would take a shoehorn to get another person in the stands here. The sellout crowd at Louisville Motor Speedway. And what a super show they're seeing. We're already in round number 2, and the action continues fast and furious. Invader, driven by Ray Piorkowski, goes against Jack Willman Jr. and Taurus. I say Jr. because Jack Sr. owns the truck and designs the truck, and Jackie the son handles the driving duties. On the start, Taurus picks up, look at this, the smoke coming out of Taurus. Now, Ray Piorkowski in the Invader has been playing catch-up on this race. It's about to be his turn to go on the inside track. Let's see what happens there. Whoa! Side by side, they go across the cars. Jack Willman Jr. has some problems. And Invader is turning it on. The big Ford out of St. Louis is heading home, and Taurus is nowhere to be seen. Invader wins it. He's already across the finish line as Taurus approaches. Ray Piorkowski pilots the Invader to a win, a full 2 seconds over the favorite Taurus. They were pretty well even as they approached the first set of cars, and then Taurus starts blowing smoke. He's having engine problems, lots of engine problems, smoke coming out of that thing. Invader picks up on that problem, takes advantage of it, and Ray Piorkowski mashes the big Ford engine and heads for home. Jack Willman, all he can do is limp home. Invader goes to the semis. Here's an interesting matchup, First Blood and Gravedigger. First Blood had problems in round number 1. He lost the front suspension, a shock. Those things run about $1,500 to $2,000. Dennis Anderson, hearing that, loaned him one from the Gravedigger race team, only to find that he's matched up against First Blood in round number 2.
It was a grave mistake to help First Blood over his troubles. He deserves nothing. Being good is simply unacceptable.
I don't need your help or anyone else's to achieve victory. In fact, they're nothing but a pain in the neck. I'm almost at my boiling point at Gravedigger. Now I'm seeing red. Ah!
They are lined up for this race, and we're going to do something special. We're going to take you up and inside the cab of Gravedigger. Our Monster Wars camera is actually right up in there, and we can see Dennis as he takes off in the Digger. They are racing side by side, and Digger opens up the lead. First Blood is there, but Gravedigger, the outside lane, and he already is showing some signs of a lot more power. Whoa, watch out, Dennis. Oh, he lands. I almost hit my head on that thing. Around they go. And Dennis Anderson has never had a win here in Louisville. 1993 may be his year, because as he jumps over the cars, he's in the semifinals in Louisville. Gravedigger registers a full 3-second lead over First Blood. They were pretty well matched up going into the first set of cars, and then Dennis Anderson, the truck with a shorter wheelbase, maneuvers around the turn, and he smokes it. You know, they say Kentucky's bluegrass country. Well, he just blew away the competition.
Dennis, great run. Kind of makes me think that you were born to drive stock car.
Yeah, I tell you, man, it's like coming around that turn there, you know, I'm in the high groove. You kind of got to feather the throttle, keep the tire hooked up. Because once the truck starts drifting, you're history then, you know, and that wall got me last year, and I'm going to stay out of it this year.
Welcome, First Blood, to Hotel Gravedigger. I've got a tomb with a view just for you, and I'm dead sure you'll love it.
Welcome back to Monster Wars. A little earlier in the show, we met Monster Patrol's husband and wife team, Paul and Marianne Shafer. That's something we see time and again in monster truck racing. Behind every great driver, there's a woman, a partner on and off the track. And they do everything together, from changing tires and chasing down parts to cheerleading and checking out the competition.
It's pretty exciting to be married to a monster truck driver.
There's never really a dull moment.
I get nervous a lot. Sometimes I can't eat, I get a headache, and I'm worried sick until the show's over.
I'm always ringing and twisting. I'm trying to, you know, drive the truck with my body.
I sit there and shake my legs and grab onto somebody else's hands. I'm always afraid we're going to wreck again.
The sport of monster trucks, really in general, is a very safe sport.
I always know he's safe. There's so much safety equipment, and he's tied in there so tightly that I really don't get scared about it.
I'm not real worried about him getting hurt. I'm more worried about the truck getting hurt. We start at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're still working at midnight.
You got to make sure the truck's always running right and clean and ready to go.
I pretty much do everything that he needs a hand with.
We kind of look out for each other. She looks out for me, and I look out for her.
A lot of times if a bad call's been made, you know, one of us will catch it and tell the other one.
Or if one rolls over, one of our trucks roll over, the other one's there to pat the other one on the back and say everything's okay and not to worry.
We're going to beat you tonight.
Yeah. You got to want to be a winner, and the only way to be a winner is to dedicate your whole life to your business.
When he gets up there, I want him to give it his all. I want him to do everything he can to win, no matter what.
Win for me.
You got to stick by your husband and support him.
It's Wayne's dream, and I guess if I love Wayne to stay with Wayne, it's part of his dream, it's a part of mine. Being with a monster truck driver is probably about the greatest feeling you could have. I wouldn't want to live or be with any other guy.
And here's her guy on the starting line, Fred Shafer, driver of Barefoot. He's got his work cut out for him, though, as he goes against Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher. Barefoot could get crushed.
Barefoot, stay out of my way, because I'll demolish you like the others. From your pain, I will always gain. Remember that, because I find wrecking a ball.
Who's going to go to the semifinals? Will it be Carolina Crusher or Barefoot? Now, for this race, we've done something a little special. We've put a Monster Wars camera on the front of Carolina Crusher. You're actually going to see what the driver sees as you go for a ride inside the big monsters. We are lined up in Louisville. The official gets out of the way. Wait for the green light and showtime. Barefoot and Crusher, here we go. A puff of smoke out of Carolina Crusher. Barefoot and Crusher side by side. They go into turn number 1. This is really evenly matched. And now into turn number 2. Carolina Crusher falling a little behind. He's on the outside lane. Fred Shafer, you can see Barefoot going to the jump. This is the view Gary Porter has. Barefoot, he turns it on. Carolina Crusher has to play catch-up. He does a good job of it. Carolina Crusher takes the lead. And the win goes to Gary Porter. Crusher smoking. He gets the win, 0.04 of a second over Barefoot. On the replay, we can see the great job of driving Gary Porter does. He was on the outside lane, but now it's inside. He drives very, very close. He cuts it close. He really has control of this truck, working that front and rear steer, and takes it home for the win. Gary Porter, he's going to the semifinals. Barefoot heads home, and we head to the studio.
The excitement never ends on Monster Wars. Next up, Gary Porter and the Carolina Crusher take on Gravedigger and Dennis Anderson in a rematch of last week's Jacksonville Thrill. That's when the two trucks wound up dead even at the finish line. Gravedigger lost the rematch, and you can be sure he wants revenge. Plus, you'll see Invader try to put an end to Monster Patrol's impossible dream of making it to the finals in his rookie season. It's gonna be a wild ride, so don't go away.
Semi-final action with the sellout crowd in Louisville, and who are they behind? Is it Gravedigger or Crusher? Jim Davidson knows.
It's like the epic long battle of tastes great, less filling. We never had an answer to that one. We're getting an answer to this one. Digger and Crusher going at it. Let's get to it.
This crowd is nearly as loud as the monsters themselves. Half are screaming for Carolina Crusher and half for the Gravedigger.
Listen to that. The fans know I'm the very best ever.
Yeah, they know you're the best, all right? The best of the worst.
You fool! No one speaks to me that way for long.
Digger, dig this. I'm the one they love, and I'm the one they have a crush on. And I'll pump them up even more when I crush you in the next race.
As they line up, let's take a look at the stats on our two competitors for this semifinal race. Gravedigger, Dennis Anderson up in the saddle, the 10,000-pound Chevy bow-tie block engine powered by 1,400-plus horses. And the Rodeck 557 powers the big Carolina Crusher. It weighs in at 10,000 pounds, again with 1,400 horses. Very evenly matched. This could be the race of the night. Crusher and Digger, wait for the green light. It's showtime! A puff of smoke out of Carolina Crusher, evenly matched going into the first turn. Around they come. Gravedigger trying to keep up with Carolina Crusher. He has the longer way to go as they approach that first set of cars side by side. Oh, they jump over the cars. And now we're going to find out who the toughest monster truck is. Gravedigger opens up a lead. Carolina Crusher battles to come back. Dennis Anderson doing a super job of driving. And Dennis Anderson just drives his way into the finals in Louisville. This could be the first time ever he gets a win. The time, 30.12. Dennis Anderson has mastered this figure-8 course. Even over the first set of cars, and watch the driving style of Dennis Anderson. He cuts it very, very close on the turns. The short wheelbase does, in fact, help. And it's all Digger from there on out. And Digger could face the rookie Monster Patrol. The Cinderella story could happen here tonight in Louisville as he faces Invader. Invader weighs in at 11,000 pounds. It's a Chevrolet-powered Ford truck. Now, the brand new Monster Patrol puts out 1,250 horse with the help of a Keith Wax Chevy Hemi. And one thing's for sure, the last thing Invader wants to do is to lose to the rookie.
At last, it's my turn to take on the rookie. He's been making a laughing stock of the others, but I've been waiting and watching. And this time, it's kill or be killed. So, Monster Patrol, witness the impact of my galactic powers! Yeah!
They are lined up, waiting for the green light. Monster Patrol first on the light. What a great job with that reaction time off the line. That's going to help him. Monster Patrol into turn number 2. Invader lagging behind as they approach the set of cars that's going to launch them skyward. Up and over. Monster Patrol has a lead. Invader tries to correct it. He's all over the track. He straightens out, and Monster Patrol still has that lead. Whoa, Invader, look out! Monster Patrol may have a win here. Monster
Patrol. It is all Monster Patrol. He's going to the finals. The rookie's going against Gravedigger. And what happened to Invader? He's backing up. He's still trying to finish the course. What a disappointment for him. Monster Patrol had a lead, but he's playing it very, very close to the outside. It looks as though he's in Invader's lane as he approaches the cars. He lands in Invader's lane. And I now understand that Invader has actually protested that race. I can't believe he's not going to take this loss like a man. Jim Davidson is with the U.S. Hot Rod Association officials right now. Mike, what's going on right now?
We're going to review this run between Invader and Monster Patrol. There was been a question that maybe Monster Patrol got over Invader's lane, and that's what we're looking at right now.
Hey, Ray, as we're watching this, will you tell us what's going on here?
Yeah, well, he came over the cones a little bit. Now that's their call, you know, on whether or not, right there he's crossing the cones. So that's their call. That's what the cones are there for.
Guys, any word on what we think now?
After reviewing the tape, we're going to leave it stand as Monster Patrol winning. We're going to leave it stand as the way it was called.
Some fans may disagree with that call. I personally agree with it. Let's send it back to Lou Ann Lee.
Monster Patrol has beaten the odds and will advance to the finals, despite what may be considered a questionable call. And now the rookie's greatest challenge awaits him. Next, he'll face the Gravedigger, Dennis Anderson.
The finals. I like the way that word sounds. It has a certain finality. And Monster Patrol, this is your final warning. I'm dying to be number one. So prepare for some gloom and doom.
He's tried since 1989 to get a win in Louisville. This may be Dennis Anderson's shot. Gravedigger. How did he get here? Well, he made it to the finals by taking out some very, very tough trucks today. In round number 1, he defeated Invader. Then First Blood, and in the semis, Carolina Crusher. Monster Patrol, he's in the finals. He had some tough competition. Taurus, Predator, Invader. And as Monster Patrol pumped during the commercial break, he vowed to the crowd that he was going to kick Gravedigger's butt. Jim Davidson is standing by with his wife, Mary Ann. Let's see how she feels.
Mary Ann, your husband Paul in the Monster Patrol, he's getting out there in the race to go up against Dennis Anderson, the Gravedigger. How do you feel?
I am real nervous, but he's gonna kick his butt.
He just said that himself, too. Did you prep him on that?
No. He's gonna.
It's a family trait, kicking butt.
He's going to have to do something to take out Gravedigger. Monster Patrol, the rookie, goes against the big boy Digger. They wait for the green light in Louisville, Kentucky. This is our final. On the line, Mary Ann's watching her man as he goes against Gravedigger. Oh, her face tells the story. The inexperience of Paul Shafer shows. He tries to cut that turn just too close, has to back out of it. And Dennis Anderson, the experienced driver, picks up the win. He takes advantage of that one split-second mistake. Digger gets his first ever win in Louisville, Kentucky. A 7-second lead over Monster Patrol. Gravedigger's in the winner's circle.
Monster Patrol, you tried and you died. Welcome to the big leagues, rookie. I'm very happy to show you the ropes, as long as it's around your neck.
It's a case of never give up. Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger, he tried for 5 long years to get a win in Louisville. Tonight, it is his, and the crowd's on their feet saluting him. It was Paul Shafer's rookie mistake that gave Gravedigger an easy win. Shafer came out of that second turn just too fast. He was not lined up properly when he went over the cars. Dennis Anderson, taking advantage of that, sails on to an easy victory. His first ever on the figure 8 course. Gravedigger, your winner in Louisville.
Dennis Anderson on top, the Gravedigger once again, right here tonight in Louisville, Kentucky. Dennis, a great job. You really pumped it up. You showed these boys how to get it done.
Hey, man, I tell you, this has been an exciting race. It's been an exciting weekend for me. There's nothing better I'd want to do, man, is to win at the figure 8 race that I've been trying to master since 1989 here, you know. Hey, man, I pulled it off. It was a rookie in the finals with me. He's got good equipment. He doesn't have the experience I did. But I tell you, man, I just blew it away.
You got out here and kicked some asphalt is what you did, my friend.
Hey, exactly, man. And last year I was here, the asphalt kicked me along with the wall. But hey, I didn't let any of that bother me, man. Here we are in the finals. I blew them out, getting ahead in the points, catching back up. I'm really feeling good about myself now.
Hey, chalk one up for the Gravedigger, Dennis Anderson, and the Monster Wars champion.
Well, Monster Patrol put on quite a show for a rookie, but experience had the upper hand, and Gravedigger buried Paul Shafer's hopes for a Cinderella win. With the victory, Dennis Anderson picked up a full 50 points and moves into first place in the Monster Wars standings with a total of 185 points. Last week's leader, Equalizer, didn't race today, so he drops down into third place behind Barefoot. Taurus, Predator, and Invader each faced Monster Patrol today, but only Taurus was able to beat the rookie back in the first round. There you see our surprise finalist, Monster Patrol, in 9th place overall. But the season's still young, and he could be the one to watch in the coming weeks. Folks, we're going to do this all again next week from the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. Until then, for Joe Lowe and Jim Davidson, I'm Luann Lee. See you next time on Monster Wars.
Promotional